And good evening!
Good evening!
Welcome to another fascinating episode of Fantastic
Discoveries!
Discoveries!
Presents
Live on location. Again, where are we again tonight?
Museum.
Museum.
Museum. Yes, we are in a very, very fascinating museum, and it's located precisely in this country that will be named now.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. A museum in New Zealand.
One of the colonies I've always wanted to go.
Well, we are about to go right now on a fantastic
Discoveries! So, today is also our 15th anniversary.
Oh, Gerald, I didn't know you were going to be mentioning that on air for all of our 15,000 viewers.
Well, Alice, I had to because, well, they've been with us for so very long now, for our 6 years on TV. It's been very touching.
6 wonderful years we've enjoyed sharing all of these moments with all of you.
And it just happens to be that this particular museum has our finest exhibit that we've ever dug up.
Our finest exhibit, and you know if you've seen all of our episodes, we have dug up some of the most fine exhibits in the world, but this here in the Museum of New Zealand is the finest exhibit.
And it's right here to be unveiled.
I can hardly even bear the suspense. Now, let's view.
It is a statue we dug up in Rome. Remember that trip, darling?
Oh, I remember it very well. It's a statue that we dug up in Rome, and we've transported it all the way to belong in the finest exhibit in the New Zealand Museum.
And it took 5 years to get here by boat because the thing was very, very rocky. I mean, look at it. Do you remember, though, when we first found it, all we saw was the hand. It was sticking up out of the ground like, help me, help me.
Oh dear, I almost had tripped over it. I said, oh, what is that? It's a hand! That must be fine art, buried deep in the streets of Rome.
Yes, it was actually just 5 feet away from the sidewalk itself.
Just 5 feet.
And so, no one noticed at first when we started excavating with a little toothpick that we had. Just had to be careful about these things.
I had to use a flashlight over the toothpick
Yes.
for you to seek, for it was dark.
And there were no street lights in that part of Rome. We won't say why we were in that part of Rome, will we? But
That is not beside the point.
when we got more of the exhibit, we got to the elbow part, we were realizing that this might be a fully intact, full-scale statue.
And indeed it was, as you can see. Now this statue, of all of its fine beauty, is actually a New Zealand pygmy.
Oddly enough, in Rome. But you see, that's why we knew we had to dig it up, because we always wanted to come to New Zealand. We needed an excuse to come to New Zealand, and so finding a New Zealand pygmy in Rome was the most fantastic discovery we have ever made. Once we got to the head. By then, people were starting to notice because we were on day 3 at this point.
We were day 3, and boy, did we smell. Poor Gerald hadn't even stopped digging. He's still using that one toothpick. I had gone and gotten some croissants and coffee for us, remember?
Yes, I kept asking for a
Sweet of me.
toothbrush so I could get to the finer points and see, uncover the true beauty of the statue, but no, someone was too busy.
I was wanting to make sure that you had enough to sustain.
I agree.
You were burning a lot of calories out there, and I didn't want you to get dehydrated, Gerald.
Rum and coffee. Yes. Anyway, once we got to this exhibit, once we got down to the waist, the police were starting to get a little concerned that we were digging up their sidewalk. So, of course, Alice decided to distract them in the only way she knew how to.
And now for a dramatic reenactment of that occurrence.
Excuse me, what? Ah! Ah! Well,
Oh, Gerald, you know I did not want to show my bosoms to those men, but I had to do what I had to do to protect our art.
and we had to do whatever we had to do for Queen and country. Even though it's our country of New Zealand, but we love New Zealand because it's a New Zealand pygmy in Rome. Because when you find such a fantastic
Discovery.
you have to do what you have to do.
That is true. Now, something you might not know about this amazing exhibit is that it's made entirely of copper. Ooh, I didn't think you knew that they had copper statues buried 5 feet away from a sidewalk in Rome of a New Zealand pygmy, but boy, we were just as surprised as you.
Yes, and when the copper thieves found out, I had to hang on for dear life to make sure that they were not stealing the exhibit.
Dramatic reenactment again.
No!
Oh, Jerry, you were so strong. You were so protective. The way that you shouted, no, just put a shiver in my little beating heart.
Oh, that's why I adore you so much. But then, once we got it out, onto the truck and onto the boat to sail to New Zealand, 5 years ago, we were very downhearted to be seeing our lovely pygmy New Zealand statue sail away upon the Sydney Harbor.
Bye, pygmy statue. I hope that someday me and my wonderful husband Gerald will be able to sail the seas to the New Zealand Museum and look.
There it is.